Hey everybody, I'm Creed, and this is Creed Saturday Morning, episode 27. And today I'm going to cover 10 more villains from my cartoon villains gallery. So, villain 41 is Brainiac from Superfriends, the legendary superpower show, which ran for 8 episodes, 1984 and 1985. Now, the Superfriends show is actually quite a number of different Superfriends shows. That's why I was so specific on this one. Most of them are very different. The legendary superpower show is actually one of the good ones. And this has my favorite version of Brainiac in it. So the 80s robot version of Brainiac is sort of just an alien metal skeleton. And he's absolutely the best designed Brainiac of them all, in my opinion. Now this look actually started in Action Comics 544 in June 1983. And it was designed by Ed Hannigan. And this version of Brainiac lasted until Crisis on Infinite Earth a couple of years later. And I really love that his ship looks like his head with metal tentacles coming from it. This version of Brainiac's voice was done by Stanley Ralph Ross, who also does Gorilla Grodd on the show, and he does the voice of Darkpaw on the Paw Paw Bears. Cool cartoon villain number 42 is Daedalus from the Mighty Hercules. The Mighty Hercules ran 128 5-minute episodes from 1963 to 1966. Daedalus is Hercules' main nemesis and the biggest threat to Caledon Castle. Some of his all-time great schemes include trapping Caledon under a dome and transforming into an evil copy of Hercules. Both excellent episodes. The voice work on Daedalus was throughout the whole series was shared by Jack Mercer, who voiced Fleischer's Popeye and Felix the Cat, and some episodes were done by Jerry Bascom, who also voiced Newton, King Dorian, and the Mask of Vulcan. A pretty simple design, but a really, really great villain, and one of my favorites. Villain number 43 in my gallery is Baron Dark from Skeleton Warriors. Skeleton Warriors ran 13 episodes from 1993 to 1994. He was transformed into a skeleton when he broke the Light Star Crystal, and he can turn anyone with darkness in their heart into a skeleton warrior. Voice work was done by Philip L. Clark, who did voice work on Scooby-Doo and Scrappy-Doo, The Dukes, The Smurfs, Pole Position, G.I. Joe, Transformers, Laser Tag Academy, Alvin and the Chipmunks, and Pirates of Dark Water. Villain 44 is Demona from Gargoyles. Gargoyles ran 78 episodes from 1994 to 1997. It's a little bit of a departure for me. I'm not usually too great at drawing the ladies, but I think I got a really good Demona here, and that this is actually one of the pieces that inspired me later on to draw a few more. So it's not actually a category I stay away from anymore. She was Goliath Woman until she got swept into magic, myth, and legend. Now she's under a magic immortality spell that binds her to Macbeth. She hates humans and will fight and kill other gargoyles. Voiced by Marina Sirtis, Counselor Troy from Star Trek Next Generation, and she was also on Threat Matrix and The Outer Limits. Villain 45, one of my favorites. The evil alien insectoid number 1 from The Incredible Hulk. The Incredible Hulk ran 13 episodes in 1982 and 1983, and he is the leader of the robot insectoid alien force responsible for the Gamma incident that created the Hulk in this cartoon. That's my favorite version of the Hulk's origin. I like how he nags the Hulk for
the Gamma formula,
and his voice was done by Vic Perrin, who did the Control voice from the original Outer Limits, Dr. Zinn on Johnny Quest, and Sinestro from Challenge of the Superfriends. Now, number 46 is really obscure. It's Dr. Hunter from The Littles. And The Littles ran 29 episodes from 1983 to 1985. Dr. Hunter has never seen a Little, but he's obsessed with finding them and capturing them for study. And his voice is by Ken Sansom, who did the voice of Hound on Transformers and Rabbit from Winnie the Pooh. Villain number 47, a really different villain, maybe the most unique in the whole series. It's Blokk from Shadow Raiders. Shadow Raiders ran 26 episodes in 1998 and 1999. He's one of the main generals for the evil Beast Planet. Blokk is cruel, ruthless, and violent. It's a very different entry because it's made mostly with Photoshop filters. You can see my pencils are almost non-existent. Everything was basically done with, after I had the shape, everything was just done with layers of Photoshop and Photoshop filters to try to match the CGI look of the cartoon. Now, I didn't do that with some other CGI cartoons, but I really wanted to try this out and see how it came out. And it looks exactly like Blokk from the cartoon, so I am sort of happy with it. It was a good experiment, I think. Shadow Raiders was made by Mainframe, who made Reboot. And Blokk's voice was done by Scott McNeil, who does the voice of Deadeye Duck on Bucky O'Hare. And he did voices on G.I. Joe, the He-Man 2002 remake, Johnny Test, the League of Super Evil, Reboot, and Mummies Alive. Villain 48 in my gallery is the awesome Skullmaster from Mighty Max. Mighty Max ran 40 episodes from 1993 to 1994. He's an evil sorcerer, so powerful he destroyed the Atlanteans and Virgil's people, the Lemurians. For part of the show, he's imprisoned in the bowels of the earth, but later he gets free. The primary storyline of Mighty Max is Max versus Skullmaster. His voice is done by the amazing Tim Curry from Stephen King's It and Earth 2, among many other cool things. Now, I usually like to keep this series pretty random. It's more for inspiration purposes and to keep everything going. But for 49 and 50, I really wanted to... I've been meaning for a long time to put Skeletor in, and so I decided to make him number 50. And then for 49, what I actually did is I went to the 2002 He-Man remake, and I did Skeletor before he lost his face. So, villain 49 is Keldor. The 2002 remake of He-Man and the Masters of the Universe ran for 39 episodes from 2002 to 2004. Keldor was one of Hordak's generals in a battle with Randor and the Masters. An acid attack backfired and left him disfigured as Skeletor. Unofficially, he's King Randor's half-brother, and that's if you combine mentions in both shows and stories in the mini-comics. And his voice is done by Brian Dobson, who does the voice of the Thing in the 2006 Fantastic Four cartoon, and the voice of Hazmat in Escape from Planet Earth. Now, number 50, the big man himself, Skeletor, from He-Man the Masters of the Universe, that ran 130 episodes from 1983 to 1985. One of the greatest cartoon villains of all time. The Keldor losing his face thing was awesome in the remake, but this original series, we sort of, at least I, never questioned where his face went. I just thought he never had one. Amazingly voiced by Alan Oppenheimer, who has acted on shows like Get Smart, Hogan's Heroes, $6 Million Man, the old movie version of Westworld. He did the voice of Falcor in A Never-Ending Story, and he was one of my favorite characters in Richard Pryor's movie. So that gets us halfway through the series. I actually took a break after I did 50. I wasn't sure I was going to do anymore, but I knew I was going to take a little break. I thought Skeletor was a good ending for the first half of the series. But now that I have the series finished, I will be recapping the next 50, and by the time we get to recapping the last 10, I'll be posting Villain 100. I'm sort of taking my time and timing the release of that one, but I have a lot more art coming. I've already started my next big art project, and I'll be announcing that soon. I'd like to welcome a couple of new subscribers. It's always good to get more eyeballs out of my art. I'm really hoping to get more videos made. We'll see how that works out. I say that in just about every episode. And I'm currently on a roll of making a lot of cool art. I'm doing a new piece every 2 or 3 days now. And I'm really digging into 1980. And you'll see why when I announce my project. Thanks a lot for watching. I really appreciate it. Oh, let me mention, if you'd like to follow my art on Facebook, my Facebook fan page is infinitecoolness.com. Just do a search, or I'll also put the links below for this stuff. And now you can follow my art on Twitter. Just follow @CreedStonegate, all one word. That is me. And I'll actually be posting a few unique things on there, so it's not just copies of everything else. So I may have slowed a little bit with the videos, but I have not slowed with the art. So there's lots more cool stuff on the way. And until then, take her easy.